Okay, welcome back. So I've got titanium white here and ivory black. What I want to do, just like we did with the complementary color scale, is I want to create a value scale that moves between the white and the black, indicating the shades of gray and middle tone along the way. So following our general principle of adding dark to light, I want to start with the white. And this is important because we're going to leave a trail behind. We want to leave basically sizable footprints of each of these stages. So I leave the original titanium white up here and I move a good quantity of it down the line. Then I add a little bit of black. Now we don't want to add too much. We can always add more, but you can't take it away. Remember that? So we add some black and mix it all the way through until we've achieved really a different color, a different value. So we don't want any threads of black or white remaining. We want a homogeneous mix for the purposes of learning about value structure. Great. So that seems like a good step. Boom, boom. I leave some of that behind. I move some down the line. I add a little bit more black. And the challenge here is to regulate your steps, to create steps that are equal in interval, equally distant from each other. No big jumps or little steps, like all the same stride. So that needs to be a little bit darker to be in keeping with the interval between the white and the first value, or the second value. Okay, so there's a third step. Now we mix more dark for this fourth step. And the good thing is that if you do screw up and you overstate it, you add too much black, you can either just add more white to adjust it, or if it's really overstated, you can scrape it off, put it to the side, and then fit it in to the sequence properly later. Okay, so there's a good step. There's the painter Jean-Dominique Auguste Ingres. He has one of those names that somebody knows how to pronounce it, but I don't. But it's I-N-G-R-E-S, Ingres. Anyway, he was a really good painter, and he had like beautiful, very refined surfaces in his pictures. And he was also a teacher, and when he would do this assignment for students, he would have them do 100 variations, from what I understand, 100 variations between white and black. And then one of the things he would do is then give them a swatch like of a certain gray within that 100-step range and ask them to fit it in to its proper place. So you could do that with a little practice. It sounds impressive, but I bet it's not that hard. Okay, so you can see how this is going. We're taking measured steps down the line. I'm going to curve the path around so that there's room for it to complete itself. And we mix it homogeneously, thoroughly, so that we achieve a new color that's not distorted by threads of the parent colors. Now all of these things, these exercises we're doing, would be really helpful for you to do. Because there's really no, the theory and the talking about it and the thinking about it will get you some distance, but there's really no substitute for getting to love the physical, the material quality of this stuff, and getting to know your pigments particularly. And the physical stuff, you start to warm up to it, so it becomes much more natural. And the more natural and enjoyable it is, the more you're likely to, give it time and not to try to rush past it to get to the painting. So I would really recommend all of the stuff that's being introduced here to just practice it, to do it. You can always email me or drop me a line if you run into trouble. Okay, here we go. So maybe one more step. Leave a little footprint behind, move this guy down, and there we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to get to the black. So now we're going to deposit these. Onto our document, we'll call it. So I'm going to start with the white. There's that footprint. And then the next step. So we want to take care of what we want to do all of our work on the palette. We don't want to do our work on this document. We want this to actually be just like a good, clean representation of what we have discovered. 1, 2, 3. And then you get these very like clearly communicating samples. Like, so you look at these values, you like, that value knows exactly what it is. There's no ambiguity to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll just have room for this to curl into the other one. And then the last step is the ivory black. Cool. So there we have it. There's our value run. So I can see here that that's actually too big a step. These other ones feel more measured, but I could scrape that out and reintroduce one step that was a mix between the titanium white and that next value. That jump seems a little too far in keeping with these other ones. So that's a correction that I would make, and that if that happens with you, you can make. Okay, so that's it for today. Tertiary colors, you want to mix them and find that middle color that isn't overly influenced by either parent color and feels equally different from each parent color. That's important. And then give yourself a value run. You can do that with black if you have it, or you can do it with blue or purple, whichever color you have that's darkest. Start with the white, and then add in little increments as you go the dark color and create this path that bridges the two together. Great. Next time we meet, we're going to get into mixing color from life, and we're going to see how these basic qualities of color, meaning temperature, warm and cool, value, light and dark, and saturation, neutral or intense, help guide our observing and mixing color from life, beginning with just a limited palette. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time.